Hi friends and welcome to the 19th episode of FinWiz, the Friday's Fire Chats, and this episode is dedicated to credit cards. Yes, I am sure many of our viewers over here might be users of credit card and a couple of you might be really scary about, no, I don't want to use credit cards here. It is very dangerous, right? So let us look at how the credit card first of all evolved and how did it come into use. Way back in 1949, one Mr. Frank McNamara had taken his business partner out for a dinner, Mr. Ralph Schneider, to a very famous restaurant in New York, Major's Cabin Grill. And after the dinner was done, when the waiter came and produced the bill, he was checking the wallet and he had misplaced his wallet. It was not there. He forgot. Both of them had forgotten to carry their wallet. There are a lot of stories on how they were bailed out from the restaurant. But anyway, the point is that was the point where they realized that, boss, we'll have to find out a way of helping people who misplace or forget their wallet and they are in this kind of a very strange and embarrassing situation. That was the seed. That was a thought way back in 1949. And that's how Mr. Ralph and Mr. Frank introduced the Diners Club card. They spoke to a lot of their friends and acquaintances to purchase these cards and also had strategic alliances with major restaurants in New York. And it was a big hit. And a lot of banks stepped in and they said that, okay, probably we can introduce this. And by 1958, Bank of America pioneered in this particular field of introducing credit cards. And Amex was the first one in 1959 to introduce the plastic credit card in the market. That's what is very, very famously used today. And we know Amex also as one of the very famous company who started off this credit card business in a big way. So that's how the credit card evolved. But my dear friend, if you observe, the purpose of credit card is not to help you with spending. The purpose of credit card is to make it easy at the time of making a payment. So it is an instrument of payment. It is not an instrument for spending. So the major advantage is to help a customer with hassle-free payments. So we are going to look at what are the various advantages and disadvantages over the series. So let's look at the major advantages. As you just said, whenever you're making a major purchase, let's say you want to buy something, some goods or articles worth about a lakh or two, rather than carrying bundles of cash, probably it is easy to swipe a card and pay it one shot. So the major advantage is the ease of making a payment at a merchant outlet. Of late, you would have seen in lot of these outlets, they give you offers when you make a payment through credit card. Recently, I had gone to one of these merchant outlets to buy a TV, fridge, washing machine, these kind of a consumer durable items. And the guy over there was telling me that, sir, if you make a payment through credit card, we have some fantastic offers for you. They have a 10% cash back. I was saying that, boss, I will give you hot cash. Will you give this offer? Or I will pay you instantly through a GPay, not through a credit card. Will you give me the offer? No. There was a special strategic alliance or a tie-up they had done. That particular merchant outlet had done with the banks, and that's how they were giving this cashback offers. So even if you're looking at you are looking at buying some articles through e-commerce website like maybe Amazon and all, there are special offers. No, Amazon Pay cards will give you 5% discount. Or if you look at some transactions through Make My Trip or any such e-commerce websites, there are special discount offers for credit card users. Not only that, whenever you make a card purchase, there is also a grace period that you get to enjoy. Depending on the card, it could be anywhere between 20 days to 50 days. So it helps you probably take some day off to make the payment. So that little bit of grace period, people love to enjoy. Another major thing, whenever you're making any of these purchases, depending on the card, there are reward points that will accrue to you. And a lot of them can use this reward points intelligently. I have definitely benefited. I use these reward points very judiciously. Every year, at least for Diwali purchases, this will come handy. You can encash it as cash itself, depending on the card, or you can encash it and get vouchers against it. These vouchers can be used for any of your purchases in the outlets, which is your favorite place to spend money. And also, if you are making any transaction like booking any hotels and all that, you can use a card to block the rooms. Maybe you would have seen it in e-commerce, or even at the time of checking, they may ask, sir, for making the payment, can I use a card? So you can block, depending on how many days you are staying, they will block that particular limit. And at the time of checkout, depending on how much is the bill, at that point of time, it can be swiped. So it makes it very easy for you to manage these kind of expenses. Most of the time when you are booking it through e-commerce website, any of these hotel rooms, they say that probably we will block your card with the amount and only 1 rupee will be swiped. And at the time of say 24 hours before check-in or something, the amount will be debited from your credit card. So that way it is easier to plan out. Lot of them might also give standing instructions on your credit card for regular payments. The regular payments could be something like your OTT subscription payments, or it could also be as important as your insurance policy premium payments. These can also be set up against your bank accounts. But what happens typically when you put as standing instructions against your bank account, let's say a premium due date is today, and when it hits my bank account, on that particular day, I should have that bank balance for the debit to go through. In case there is no sufficient bank balance, even if it is lesser by 1 rupee or so, then the mandate gets dishonored. Not only that, there are charges against it, I might also face the risk of the policy being lapsed. So maybe if you are judiciously using your credit card by setting up standing instructions on that and do not overuse your credit limits, then what would happen is that amount will automatically get debited on the due date, and the policy renewals and everything will go through smoothly without any hassles of any kind of lapsation risks that you will take. So it is very easy to set up renewals on these kind of cards. A lot of them who travel abroad, overseas, might also use it for international purchases. Maybe if you are looking to go to US, you don't need to carry dollars, or going to UK, you don't need to carry the pounds, or traveling to Dubai, no need to carry dirhams. If you have a credit card with the international usage facility, you can swipe it in any of these merchant outlets. See, because there are also restrictions on how much cash to carry, right? So whenever you are making any purchases in any of these outlets in the international vacation or a travel abroad, it could be even for business, then it will be very useful that the currency, whatever the local currency, you might be swiping it, but it will get converted into the currency in which you are domiciled, that is probably Indian currency, and you can make a payment in the local currency once you are back to town. So that way, people who are international travelers definitely take advantage of these kind of benefits. Another major thing I've seen a lot of people say is that, sir, I don't know where exactly is the money going. I'm not able to track the expense. So that way, if you are making your transactions to credit card, at least in one place, you will have a record of all the transactions. Monthly, when the statement comes, you can go through it and analyze. There are also a lot of cards which will put all these expenses as a pie chart and show you. Okay, so beautifully in a pie chart, it will show whether the expenses have gone to utilities or travel or dining out, on what you spent, and that would become an easy tool for you to analyze your own spending habit. Another major thing that I have found is when people apply for loans, they say that, sir, I don't seem to have a good CIBIL score. I'm not getting loan at attractive rates or for the amount that I'm looking for. I have never ever taken loan. So why is my CIBIL score low? If you understand the CIBIL score, what it means is that it is basically a track record of how good a borrower are you. Somebody who has never ever borrowed in his life, maybe financially was doing so well that he never had a requirement to borrow, might not have a good CIBIL score. The reason being that we don't know how we will behave as a borrower. That's unfortunate, right? But yes, that's how CIBIL score is looked at. So if you have a credit card and you are using it judiciously and making all payments on time, 100% of the payment due on time, or rather before time, then your CIBIL score will be good. That will help you if at all you want to take any loan, be it a home loan or personal loan, education loan, whatever loan, it might help you with a good credit record. Most importantly, this is one point that I always emphasize. In case of any emergency, let us say it's hospitalization of your near and dear, you are financially dependent. At that point in time, let us say at the time of hospital admission, they are saying that, boss, you need to pay up 1 lakh of rupees. I am sure most of us will not have 1 lakh rupees cash at home. We might have it in the bank account, but then who will run around at that point in time searching for an ATM? And even if you're looking at an ATM, you might have limitations on how much you can withdraw per day. And you might have a health insurance, but that particular hospital should be able to process it soon. They should be one of the hospitals in the network list, and they should be having a cashless facility. So you understand how many ifs and buts I'm talking of over here. So if at all you have a credit card, at the time of admission, if they ask you to immediately shell out a lakh of rupees, you can swipe the card, and hopefully before the bill payment is due, you are back to normalcy, and then you will be able to make the payment. You can definitely make arrangement, either any of your investments like a liquid fund or a fixed deposit you would have kept aside for a contingency, you will have time to break it and make the payment against your credit card. So that way, the grace period will definitely be useful and handy. I just hope and pray that you will never face that kind of an emergency or contingency situation, but it is always good to be prepared, right? So on that note, what we have discussed today is majorly what are the various advantages that credit cards offer us. But my dear friends, everything comes with a flip side also. A coin has two sides, right? So we will look at in our next episode what are the demerits and disadvantages of the credit card so that we can understand how to use it more judiciously. Till we catch up on our next episode, take care. Bye bye. Jai Hind.